it's Shannon, aka QB Crossing, and welcome back to my channel. As you can tell, we are doing an interior today, which I am really excited about. I rarely work on interiors since this is pretty much the last thing I do along with beaches when I'm finishing an island. But I had an idea for my main room and I figured it would be really fun to share my process. So if you guys enjoy the interior speed builds and you'd like to see more of this, please be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you thought. And here we are. So I'm going to talk a bit about my design process and what I want to do for this main room. So I am actually at Harv's Island right now. I prefer to design interiors at Harv's because you have all of your items that are cataloged, so easy to use. It's just 10 times easier to design anything, play around with different customizations. You don't have to worry about actually customizing items. So you have a lot of creative freedom and then you can recreate whatever you want on your actual island in your actual house. But I just definitely prefer working at Harv's. So that's why I am here right now. The way that I start any of my interiors is I actually figure out or try to figure out the flooring and wallpaper I'm going to use, and then any rugs. I think for me, I always like to separate my rooms into a few different sections, especially for these bigger rooms here, like the main room when you walk in or your upstairs or downstairs room. So over to the left, I'm going to make a little seating area where you see that lacy rug. And then over to the right, I'm going to have one of the loft beds so that it's almost like a studio feel, so that we have like a place to sleep and then also a place to just relax and hang out on the couch, have a cup of coffee. And then with the extra space that I have up towards the front of the room, I'm going to add in a piano and maybe play around with like a little sewing area, whatever else I can fit. So I'm going to let you guys just watch me design for a few minutes and then I'll talk a little bit more about the areas that I'm creating. With interiors to fill up your wall space as well. That to me is what really makes the area feel polished and the room feel actually a little bit more realistic. So I also like to play around with a lot of clothing items. For instance, you can see that I'm using some custom designs on the wall. I'm going to use some hats. I'm definitely going to see what else I can play and pull from with wall mounted items. So you'll see as we go along, I'll be trying out a few different things. Definitely lots of plants. My house in real life is pretty much a jungle because I am just obsessed with houseplants. So I wanted to convey that a little bit here as well. The other thing that I do find a little bit challenging with interiors is this area in the front of the space. Specifically for the main room, if you're breaking up the room into a few different areas, I'm always kind of struggling with what to do with the space right when you walk in. So I'm playing around with some shelving and filling up the space that way. And then over to the left, what I'm working on now is a sewing area over by that bookshelf. I did want to block off that left room, so the bookshelf helps me do that and it looks cute. So it's kind of a win-win for me, and then I don't have to decorate the other room for my dream address. So I am going to just fill up some shelving, have a little bit of a coffee station, have a little space to sew, and then it really works with those custom designs that I put up on the wall, which I think it gives that whole feeling of a little kind of like seamstress studio. So I just try to get playful with the areas. Obviously, I just want it to be as cozy as I can, so I add a lot of cushions everywhere. I have candles, I have coffee cups, all of my go-to items. But with interiors, I really just play around until something feels right, and I try to at least have an idea or something that I'm referencing for the space. So I knew that I wanted a seating area. I knew that I wanted a little desk area, and then I'll decorate around that. I think if I don't have an idea to start with, it's really hard for me to actually create, because then I'm just throwing items around and I don't really know what I'm making. So that is why I definitely think it's important to have some sort of idea and just something to work with when you're starting these spaces. Okay, so here we are in the final build. I am so proud of myself for finishing an interior. I really have not worked on interiors in so long, so I actually like how this came out. And I also want to note that I think it fits the aesthetic of my main island, and I think that interiors should be an extension of the aesthetic that you have on your main island, if that's what you want. So I definitely get the Springcore vibe from this. I really liked playing with that simple panel on the doorway to make it look like a sliding door. And the room is broken out into a few different sections, like what we're looking at now with the loft beds. It's a desk and a place to sleep. So I really love that item. The piano, the left side of the room, which has just the couch, and I really like framing things with those iron wall lamps, playing with as many paintings and custom designs. We have a little seamstress area over here. I love using the sewing items because it's so easy to create a story around them and build inspired by a little sewing area or a studio for someone that may be a seamstress or a clothes designer. I love also using custom clothing codes, so that's just a win-win for me. And then over to the left here, I just have a really simple shelving system. I have a coffee maker, infused water, so just things that I would probably have in my own living room. I really am pretty happy with how this came out, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you thought, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!